Hello, my dear students. Here I am again with another unit. The unit 4 is reading for pleasure. We're going to begin with the goals that we have for this unit. These ones: recommend a book, ask about an article, describe your reading habits, discuss online reading, recomendar un libro, preguntar acerca de un artículo, describir tus hábitos de lectura, discutir el leer en línea. Discutir aquí es hablar. Okay, now let's talk to a preview about the lesson 4, the unit 4, reading for pleasure. We have an internet website and they are a site and they are recommending different books. For example, in the novels, they recommend Ernest Hemingway book, The Old Man and the Sea. Hemingway's masterpiece about a poor fisherman and a big fish he hopes will change his life. Okay? In mysteries, we have Murder on the Orient Express. Okay? The author is Agatha Christie. Someone is killing people on Euro's most famous train. Can Inspector Poirot find the killer? The thrillers. A Trading is a very good book, okay? And here is the Born Supremacy, a thrilling contemporary story that will have you sitting on the edge of your seat. In romance, we have The Love Letter. The author is Brenna Aubrey. A young doctor tries to forget his past. Will he find his love again? In science fiction, they recommend The War of the Worlds. Strange beings from another planet try to conquer the planet Earth. Will they win? In short stories, like cuentos, we say into Spanish, short stories, they say, is a collection of 30 short stories by some of the world's most beloved writers. Okay? Then we have these books of fiction. Fiction are books that correspond to imaginary situations. They're not real, okay? But we have in writing another kind of books. We have non-fiction. Non-fiction are books based on reality, okay? And we have biographies, autobiographies, travel, memoirs, and self-help. In biographies, they recommend Mandela. The author is Donna Foner, the true story of Nelson Mandela, the man who inspired millions in South Africa. An autobiography is A Long Walk to Freedom, and it was written by Nelson Mandela himself. In Nelson Mandela's one word is unforgettable story. In travel, we recommend a book from Bill Bryson. The book is called Note from a Small Island. A hilarious account of Bill Bryson's travels through the United Kingdom. Okay. In memoirs, we're going to study a book from John Grogan that is Marley and Me. Okay. The author John Grogan remembers what life was like with his lovable pet dog Marley. In self-help, that is a kind of inspirational book, we study The Younger You. The Younger You is a national bestseller. It's written by Eric Breitman. Okay, want to look and feel younger? Here are the secrets to a newer and better you. Okay, you can see this is a page about books, a website who recommends fiction books and non-fiction books. Remember that we can have different kind of books. These are genres of books. Now listen to the vocabulary about the genres, how to pronounce these words. Listen to me.
Read and listen. Fiction,
A novel, a mystery, a thriller, a romance novel, a science fiction book, a short story,
nonfiction,
A biography, an autobiography, a travel book, a memoir, a self-help book,
Now listen again and repeat.
a novel,
A novel,
a mystery,
a mystery,
a thriller,
a thriller,
a romance novel,
a romance novel,
a science fiction book,
a science fiction book,
a short story,
a short story,
a biography,
a biography,
an autobiography,
an autobiography,
a travel book,
a travel book,
a memoir,
a memoir,
a self-help book,
a self-help book. Now remember the pronunciation: a novel, a mystery, a thriller, a romance novel, a science fiction book, a short story. They are fiction books. In non-fiction books, we have a biography, an autobiography, a travel book, a memoir, a self-help book. Now let's go with the photo story of this review. The photo story is a conversation between Lynn and Sophie, okay? Pay attention to the pronunciation of the conversation and to the content. Okay. What you see, listen to the conversation at the same time.
Read and listen to a conversation between two friends at a bookstore.
Hey, Sophie. I've never run into you here before.
Lynn, good to see you. Looking for anything special?
No, I'm just browsing. How about you?
I'm just picking up some gardening magazines for my mom. She can't get enough of them. So, anything interesting?
This one doesn't look bad. It's a biography of Helen Keller. What about you? Are you reading anything good these days?
Well, I've got a new mystery on my night table, but I can't seem to get into it. I guess mysteries just aren't my thing.
I know what you mean. They put me to sleep.
Well, you're a big reader. I wonder if you could recommend something for me.
Have you read the new John Grisham thriller?
No, I haven't. I didn't know he had a new book out.
Well, I can't put it down. It's a real page-turner.
Thanks for the tip. Do you think I could borrow it when you're done with it?
Of course. If you can wait till the end of the week, I'd be happy to lend it to you.
Okay, listen again.
Read and listen to a conversation between two friends at a bookstore.
Hey, Sophie. I've never run into you here before.
Lynn, good to see you. Looking for anything special?
No, I'm just browsing. How about you?
I'm just picking up some gardening magazines for my mom. She can't get enough of them. So, anything interesting?
This one doesn't look bad. It's a biography of Helen Keller. What about you? Are you reading anything good these days?
Well, I've got a new mystery on my night table, but I can't seem to get into it. I guess mysteries just aren't my thing.
I know what you mean. They put me to sleep.
Well, you're a big reader. I wonder if you could recommend something for me.
Have you read the new John Grisham thriller?
No, I haven't. I didn't know he had a new book out.
Well, I can't put it down. It's a real page-turner.
Thanks for the tip. Do you think I could borrow it when you're done with it?
Of course. If you can wait till the end of the week, I'd be happy to lend it to you.
Okay, now pay attention to the underlined lines. Can't get enough of. Can't seem to get into it. Just on my thing. Put me to sleep. I can put it down. It's a real page turner. Okay, they are different expressions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different expressions. 6. Now, the activity is this one here, okay? Which of the expressions is alike and which of the expressions doesn't like? Okay, what do they mean? For example, can't get enough of them. Can't get enough of them is like. Okay, put me to sleep. Put me to sleep as an example. Doesn't like. Okay, that's what you have to do to classify the expressions in likes and doesn't like. Okay, remember, she can't get enough of, can't seem to get into it, just on my thing, I can put it down, it's a real page turner. Okay, those are the expressions you have to write here. And the other activity is word a phrase. Say each underlined verb in your own way. I never ran into you here before. We have to replace this expression with another verb. Reemplazamos ese subrayado con otro verbo que signifique lo mismo. Run into is meet, okay? Sin, ver a alguien en un lugar. I just browsing. Browsing, we use this expression when we go to a store and we just going to look at different things. So the replacement is looking at different things. Picking up some gardening magazines for my mom. Picking up is collecting, buying, okay? Collecting or buying in this thing, okay? Acquiring, getting is another way to say it. Do you think I could borrow it when you're done with it? Do you think you could lend it to me? Okay? Lend it to me. Lend is the synonym of borrow. I'd be happy to lend it to you. And the other way is borrow. I could be happy to borrow it from you. Okay? We use borrow and lend. That's the activity here. And the other personal activity is to write in percentages the quantity of reading you make, okay? For example, the magazine, the newspaper, the websites, the fiction books, the non-fiction books, or other kinds of readings, okay? You have to write here only the percentage. Okay, this is the first video of this unit.